Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hobb. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Sunday, June 30th. Here in America, it is the start of July 4th week, so there are a lot of people down at the shore. It's going to be a beautiful day today. I so appreciate you joining me. Last Sunday, I talked about the power of your thoughts and how thoughts literally become things. Yesterday, I was able to read a recent article by a team of Russian scientists who have achieved evidence that show that using affirmations such as the I am statements I spoke about and other forms of working with your thoughts actually can change your DNA. And when you change your DNA, it gives you the opportunity to have improved healing, overall health, as well as under other wonderful aspects. So I hope that since last Sunday you have been experimenting with using affirmations and overall just watching the power of your thoughts. This week I'd like to focus on beliefs because your thoughts actually come from the core of your beliefs. And these beliefs, unlike your thoughts, are given to you. They come to you from outside sources. So most of us are walking around today on autopilot, living off our beliefs and the thoughts and emotions associated with those beliefs. Now, when we first come to this place, to this existence, to this earth, we come with the belief system of where we came from, which is heaven, or home, as I like to call it. So we come with a feeling of equality, a feeling of unlimitedness, an openness to seeing the other side, which is why a lot of us who have babies will notice the babies staring into the corner and smiling at someone. Or perhaps we'll hear them animated, giggling and talking to someone on a monitor. They have a natural openness to communicating with those in heaven because they haven't established any blocks yet. The same as some babies, young children, will often easily associate with those of different colors, different religions, because there's no blocks to that. They just see that other person as a human being just as themselves, and they easily hug them and easily play with them. So, honestly, racism is taught. Racism is given to the child at a young age by those around the child, whether it be their parents, their family, their town, their school system, exposure to media. So races are made, not born. As someone who achieves a lot in life, the billionaires are generally made, not born. So there's really not anyone who's born with a lucky silver spoon in their mouth. All of them have been given the opportunity through their belief system to achieve their greatest standard of life. That is why I teach the Infinite Possibilities Life Coaching Program currently, and before that I taught a transformational life coaching program to help my students understand the power of their beliefs, their thoughts, their feelings, and how they can be changed, how you can literally reprogram yourself to achieve your optimum life. Yes, it is possible. It's actually important as well. So the first way, or I guess the first step in taking and changing anyone's belief systems, and number one, you can't do it for somebody else. You can only do it for yourself. So the first step is to be open to change. The presidential candidate Andrew Yang, who is a techie, just recently, I just read it early this morning, is suggesting a program where American students get to travel to other areas of the country and live almost like exchange students. Because there's so many different cultures in our country, that exposure is so important. And if you have an openness to going to another community and seeing how they live and seeing how they feel and think about things, it's so important. It gives you it's just an important step in seeing where your belief systems are, and especially how to develop understanding where other belief systems are. I started to do that myself within the last couple of years. I started to watch TV shows that talked about, showed life in the South. It showed life in Maine. And you might see some of these shows on the Travel Channel, the Discovery Channel, because I wanted to understand how people come to their belief systems, how people vote a certain way, how people just naturally live a certain way. And I saw it really goes from generation to generation. A lot of us continue living in the same town and with the same belief systems that our parents gave us through where they lived. And so it really has to be in order to change belief systems, has to be an intentional decision to do that. Because if not, we're just going to go along with the life that we've known. We're just going to stay in that comfort level. And staying in the comfort level is something that's, it's often chosen for us to do. It's easy for us to do. Even if it's uncomfortable, we tend to stick with what we know because it gives us a comfort level rather than overall change. But oh my goodness, overall change is worth it because, the greatest chapter for you is right beyond that level of discomfort in change. Discomfort given to you by change because change is often, it's always scary, but it's always worth it because it always brings the greatest chapter, even if it doesn't look that way at first. So the first step, as I said, is openness, exploring, understanding, being willing to see things differently, being willing to think differently, to learn differently, to step outside of the box of which you were given. The second one is education. And I don't mean formal education. It means informing yourself, being willing to just see things differently, going to sites and to books and to people that have had experiences. I remember a few years ago, it's about 3 years ago, there were people that had an opinion of how the world sees this country. And these people that were saying this, it was a negative opinion. They thought the world disrespects us. The world laughs at us. But yet these people saying that I knew personally had never been out of the country. They had actually never spoken to anyone outside the country. Their opinion was fully based on propaganda sites that they visited. That's mind control. How easily led we can be. Never let your mind be controlled by propaganda and by other sources. Always make sure that you're informed by the truth. Always follow up what you know with statistics. I'm a natural intuitive. We all, by the way, have a sixth sense. We all naturally have an intuition. I have a developed one. I read energy everywhere. I read it in people. I read it in a room. I read it in a building. I read it when I'm voting. And so I always base my vote not on political party, on what you're selling to me, but what your intentions are, who you are, what your values are. And I can read them because we all emanate that through our energy. And so the friends that I make in life, the friends that I allow into my circle, are people that I read their energy and they have the best energy. They have very loving energy, very trustworthy energy, very loyal energy. They're the best people. I hire the best people for my life. And you should as well. Always do that because that's what you deserve and it's what you're worthy of. And so with this intuition that I have, what I will do is I'll read it, and then, I don't want to say it's for fun, but as an important backup, I will check out the statistics. I will talk to people. I will engage, and 100% of the time, I always get the validation. Yes, I knew that. It's what I know. And I know it through people, and I know it first through my intuition. It's a good follow-up, so always follow your gut, and then get the facts to back it up. If the so-called facts do not back up your gut, and I mean your gut, not your beliefs, because your beliefs are based on what other people wanted you to believe. So you can't base it on that. You have to listen to your gut. And then back it up with true statistics. The two should always be aligned. And that will also help you to change your beliefs. Because let's just say that if your beliefs tell you that a certain population is bad, that they can't be trusted, that they're evil, that anything like that, and then your gut and what you hear from people who have had positive interaction with those people, or history with those people, actual factual history regarding those people, don't back up those beliefs, then have a willingness for those beliefs to change. This week, I posted an event on my page. I am also happen to be a medium. I have had a connection to the other side since I was born. I was talking to heaven as a toddler, knowing I could do that, feeling that connection, having a very solid experience. It promoted my religious life. It promoted my faith. It promoted my spirituality as well. So it's something I've tried to keep strong all my life, though there were times I put it aside intentionally. I now would not do that. Well, I posted this event or to let everyone know about it, and over one evening, it was actually overnight, there was a person who 4 times posted a scripture, a Bible scripture from Leviticus, trying to tell people not to attend my event. And it's interesting because I don't have any barriers to posting on my page. There's no security on it. My personal page does. You do have to get approval before you post on my timeline. I post it myself. So it goes through a bit of a filter system on my personal page, but on my business page, there isn't anything like that. However, it was blocked, and the 4 posts sought out my approval before they were posted. So I knew immediately that was something divine. I was being given a head up. So I saw this post 4 times, and I thought about it for a moment. My reaction to that post, and I felt it was not for the best for it to be posted. And I'm going to tell you why. I deleted all 4 posts. But what I also did is I contacted that person. That person has not responded to my email. But I felt the need to explain. I felt the need to introduce myself to them. And how I did it is that I told them that I've actually experienced heaven. And that I understood why they felt from their belief system that they should post that. But that was not my experience. It was also not aligned with my purpose on this earth, which was to be a conduit from those on earth to heaven, and also as a spiritual advisor and teacher. I wanted to explain to her I had experienced heaven, and that it was indescribable. It is a place of love. That's the only way to describe it, but you can't even remotely describe the love that is there. It is so magnified. It is beyond our scope. When I was there, very, very briefly, It was a place of unimaginable love, acceptance, adoration, non-judgment, just, as I said, immeasurable. I was light as a feather. I knew I was home, the home of where my soul began and where my soul would go back to when I finished this life. I was there, received a message about my work and my life, and was sent home. Back to earth, my physical home. I felt very sad about leaving. Any book that you read about life after death, or near-death experience, the person, usually 99.9% of the time, feels the sadness about leaving heaven. One pastor who had a near-death experience after a car accident actually argued with Jesus 3 times trying to stay in heaven. And the Son of God, very, very infinitely patient and understanding, kept saying, no, you have to go back. There's work to get done. And the pastor came back and not only has done great works, but wrote a wonderful book about it. Fortunately, that title of that book is not predominantly in my mind right now on this early Sunday morning, but I encourage you to read up on those who have had near-death experiences and the way it has changed them. Because that was the purpose of the experience, was to change them and to change their life here on earth for the greater. So I wanted that person to know that even though they believed that I was doing something against the will of God and that I wasn't serving, and to a greater extent that maybe I was not a good person. Though I hear sometimes from people, maybe mediums don't realize maybe they think they're real. Maybe they don't realize they're going against God. Maybe they're good people doing bad things. Well, I wanted to make it clear to this person in my very short message that I was someone who was trying to do a very good thing. Just yesterday, my last client of the day gave me a most tremendous gift. I was so honored. She said to me, because of her session where she got to connect with her brother who was passed, she said to me, I'm so honored to meet you. That goes above the head. That goes above the ego. And there should never be an ego among mediums, by the way. It's a vocation. It's such an immense vocation. You have to be humble. You have to serve. It's such a huge responsibility. So for that person to say that to me, I could only give thanks and gratitude to a higher source, not just to her, because it was such an honor to serve her. And then to hear that she was helped by it, moved by it. There are really no adequate words for that. The person who tried to post scripture on my page, and she may come back again, she comes from her own belief system given to her either by her church or by her parents or both, and she believes she is right. One day, she will know heaven. And I said to her, you will know heaven by God's grace. And she will understand that love. And I want her to understand that love. I want her to understand and experience that love right this moment, right now. And I want her to pray for all of us. I want her to pray for everyone. I want her to pray for me. I want her to pray that I'm not harming anyone, that I'm doing good works, that I'm working for a higher role. And I pray for her that she understands love and understanding and forgiveness, and she has the happiest and best life possible. We should always pray for each other. But there was no way ever that her scripture was ever going to stop me from my work. And I would always hope that anyone that wants to attend my events would never be stopped by a post by her. I'm here to help. And so we should always make sure that our belief systems are based on our experiences, on our openness, on education, on being informed. Overall, in every way, the Bible, very briefly, God in heaven does use the Bible as an oracle, just as it uses A Course in Miracles, just as it uses, I'm sure, a book from the Jewish faith or the Islamic faith. It will use anything it can to talk to us. And that is, so it is important. But it should never, ever be used in a way to harm. And especially with this Leviticus. If we were to follow Leviticus, early, if we were to follow Leviticus literally, we would also not be able to eat uncleaned seafood, such as shrimp, or any other uncleaned meat. We would not be able to eat anything that eats garbage. That would eliminate even cows that are not properly raised, not grass-fed. We would not be able to eat anything processed. We would not be able to wear wool. There are so many limitations given by that scripture, yet I noticed, and probably many of you have noticed, that people pick and choose which they want to believe and what they don't. We're human beings after all. Excuse me. And so I don't go there usually with, do you do this, do you do that? I just take it as it comes at me. But I do eat shrimp. I don't eat other things uncleaned. Because it's nutritional and because I understand that some things should not be taken literally. Just as we don't take literally, thou shalt not kill, we kill animals. Many of us who are pro-life also will stand by the death penalty because an eye for an eye. We have our belief systems. I would ask you to make sure your belief system is for the highest good and the highest good of all. Always. And it's to be taken one step at a time. And we are here to expand and to learn and to grow, to really evolve. And so we do that one moment at a time. We do it one day at a time. We do it 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. I am not the same Lisa I was at different moments in my life. I think I'm back to how I began and hopefully evolved from that even. So it's always a process. And the journey can really be magical and really be wonderful as you get to learn who you are and what you wish to believe in. And it should be, looking at your belief system should always be intentional and deliberate. Make sure what you believe is what you truly believe and not what somebody else gave you. If your beliefs, if that is what you were given, then know that you can change them. But I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's only programmed into your being, into your subconscious. So even hypnosis, another step, can change your beliefs. But just being aware, notice what pops up. Are you naturally afraid when you go into a city? We should always be aware of our own security. But do you look at somebody else a little bit different because of what you've heard on the news or what you were taught by your parent? Look at that. Is it your belief or is it somebody else's? And if it isn't your belief, let it go. So reviewing again, openness, education, using steps such as hypnosis, and perhaps emotional freedom techniques such as tapping will also eradicate some of the beliefs and change them. Affirmations can change beliefs as well. Deliberately informing yourself as to what is real truth. Notice when beliefs pop up, like pop-up tents or pop-up shows. Notice when they pop up, your programming is being revealed to you. Take it, reverse it, right in that moment. If you do so, I promise you that your life will change for the better, because you will be more unlimited. Your blocks to abundance and relationships and health will start to be removed. And so it's very important to make sure that your beliefs align with what you truly want for your life. If you believe in optimum health, if you believe in your body's ability to heal, it will heal itself. Your beliefs will tell your thoughts what to think and what to feel, and your emotions what to feel, and you will start to achieve that optimum health. So always be in a belief system of health, not illness. If you believe in abundance, if you believe that you deserve to have everything that everyone else has in this world that is good. I don't know that I worded that right. If you believe you are worthy of abundance, if you believe that you are worthy of wealth, that you deserve it, you will have it. If you believe that you have ideal relationships around you, if you believe that you are loved, you will be loved. You see how strong that is? You see how powerful that is to give you the best life ever? It's so important. Please allow yourself to have the greatest belief system. Don't allow yourself to be led by the belief of others. Oh, how things can change and will change, and always for the better. To the flip side, do not allow your beliefs to change for the negative, because truth will never change your beliefs for the negative. They will always change them for the positive. So don't allow yourself to be a sheep. Don't allow yourself to be led. This world, by the way, is changing for the better, not for the worse. Don't get pulled into that. It is not as it seems at times. Always look for the better belief, because that is where you become powerful. That is where your life will change for the better in every single way. That's when things will turn around. I can promise you that fully. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful time in whatever you're doing today. It's supposed to be a beautiful day here in my state, and I hope where you are, it is a beautiful day as well. Thank you again, and continued many blessings to you in your life. You deserve it. You're always worthy. Believe that. It's the truth. Thank you.